Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's true crime story is a very surprising one because I've seen different types of these guys in this my true crime journey. I've seen different is it people that disguise as pregnant to go and lure another pregnant woman to get their babies. Different types of disguises. But this particular one is very surprising. This person disguised as a middle schooler in order to go and murder an English tutor. I've never seen something like that. A 23-year-old lady disguised as a middle schooler, or as we would call it, a junior secondary school student here in my country. Then she went to someone's house to murder the person because I don't know. When she was accosted and after much questioning, it's because she was obsessed with true crime. There is no kind of excuse that she did not give for committing this type of crime. But let's just dive into it because this case is wild. It happened in South Korea in 2023, just like just 2 years ago. So this case happened in Busan of South Korea in 2023 in May 26th, 2023. A young lady by the name Jung. She was obsessing about true crime. She is a true crime lover like almost all of us on this channel. She would watch true crime, she would research on it, she will read about it, she will even go to library and borrow books and read on it, and she liked watching true crime podcasts and different things, everything related to true crime. So she was, I think at a time she became obsessed with it, and so she would watch it, then she would go to sleep and think about it on not how to really like use, because most of us, I hope, watches these true crime things to be self-aware, to be aware of all the dangers in the society that this kind of things happen. So if you're out there, you would know that this type of things happen, you know how to protect yourself. But this particular lady was watching true crime in order to learn how to commit true crime. So that was what was happening. She left the high school in 2018. She left high school. Growing up, she was born in 1999, so she grew up with her grandfather. Not that she doesn't have parents. She had parents, but due to how South Korea work culture is, her parents were so busy that they couldn't raise her. So they shipped her off to her grandfather's house, and she grew up, stayed with her grandfather all these years till she's 23 years old, this 2023. So she stayed with her grandfather. She attended during her middle school. They said she had like friends, she associated with people, she could communicate with people, she had friends like a normal girl. But when she entered high school, she started becoming reclusive. She doesn't talk to people. You would talk to her, she would behave as if she doesn't hear you. She would sit very, very close to the window side, and sometimes she would use window curtains and cover herself and be behind those curtains, and probably be eating, munching on snacks, and just staying on her own. She doesn't relate with people. She doesn't have friends during her high school. All through her years in high school, she never had any friend. She doesn't talk to people. She doesn't associate with people. So that was her life until she graduated in 2018. Then when she left school, she continued with her reclusive behavior. She would lock herself inside her room and stay there the whole day, watching true crime podcasts and true crime movies, or reading on true crimes. That was majorly her deal, her work, all this while. So she stayed there. She was doing all of that for like 5 years, from 2018 to 2023. She would stay inside her house and read up on true crime. And during those years, she would tell her grandfather that she is applying for government exam, civil service exam, that she's reading up on how to write the exam. She would tell her grandfather these things, and I guess the grandfather was very, like, very very proud of her, that this girl, that she's very very, that she's very serious with her studies. So she would close her doors and in her room and barricade herself inside her room and be watching her true crime without even reading or doing anything, or even like going out there to look for a job. But yes, she actually applied as a golf caddy, and when she got the call for her interview, the interviewer was asking her questions and she was not answering the questions. She would keep quiet, or sometimes just mumble yes or no to the interviewer's question. So the interviewer was like, were you not the person that applied for this job? Why are you not answering your questions? Why are you answering in monologues? What is happening to this person? The interviewer came out when she was, as in when her news broke out that she did this and that. So that was when the interviewer came out and said that her interview with this particular lady stuck with her for years. So she came out and said that she called for this interview and she didn't answer any question. And when the interviewer did not give her the job, when she later found out that she didn't get the job, they called back the interviewer and laid so many insults at her. She insulted them and all of that. And I was asking the interviewer, why was I not taking? Why was I not choosing? The interviewer said that she told her that they needed someone that is proficient in English language, that was why she was not choosing to do that job. So I felt that was where she got that thing. She became really really annoyed with people that could speak English language. So after that particular incident, she continued staying at home and reading up on true crime. Then in 2023, around February of 2023, started thinking of really how to that is now time for her to murder someone, and she believed in herself that she would never be caught. So she had researched enough for this thing that she wants to do, so that she's now ready to do this, and set the plan in motion. She downloaded the tutor app in South Korea. That app, it has to do with parents and tutors, that the parents and tutors download those type of apps, and maybe from there they communicate with their children's teacher on what is needed, or to look for a teacher for their children, you understand, though, that kind of app. So she downloaded that app and she started messaging a lot of English tutors that she was posing as a parent that she needs an English tutor. She was posing as a parent that she needs an English tutor for her child, that her little girl that is a middle schooler needs an English tutor, that she wants that English tutor to tutor her child and try to make her child proficient in English language. So she was telling different tutors these things, and nobody really, because she was telling, she would ask to them, she would chat them and ask them, are you living alone? That I would want my child to come to your house so that I can tutor her. Most of them didn't like that idea of the child coming to their house, because some of them live alone and maybe live in a one-bedroom apartment, so there is no space for that kind of thing, or maybe to invite someone to come into the house and teach the person. There was no really space for that, so most of them rejected her. So she kept going back to that app and researching and asking people, chatting a lot of English tutors, and then she met this particular lady, and she chatted the lady, told the lady that she really needs an English tutor for her middle schooler. That girl needs to be proficient in English language, that please, she would want someone that will help tutor this girl so that she'll be able to write her exams well. So this particular lady, she accepted it. and she told the lady that her place is really far away from where the lady is staying, that she would want her child to come to the lady's house to be tutored by her. So the lady accepted. She didn't have anything in mind. She didn't know that this type of evil exists. So she agreed, and they booked a date. So, and that was on May 26th of 2023. So this, on that day, they had chatted and they had booked that she was going to come to her house, that her child was going to come to the lady's house to be tutored. So the lady was waiting for, we had arranged her house and laid out books, English books that she would use to teach the child. So she was waiting for the child, and when someone knocked at her door, she peeped and saw a baby face looking person. She felt that okay, that's the middle schooler, that's the child that she's meant to teach. So when she opened the door, she even accepted this young Jungyoojung into her house, thinking that she's a middle school student, because Jung looks very young. She could pass for a middle schooler. She's 4'9". She has chubby cheeks and looks pretty young. And before then, she had disguised herself. She had cut her hair and packed it like a child. So she could pass for a child. I don't know how many 23-year-olds could pass for 13 or 14-year-old, but for a 13 or 14-year-old. But the lady accepted her into her house. And when she got into the lady's house, the lady turned back to go and sit down so that she can start teaching, Jung put her hand inside her bag, and pulled out a knife and started stabbing this lady. Stabbed this lady multiple times in a particular area from the neck to the chest. Stabbed her 111 times. I've never heard of that. I would hear 20 times, 16 times, 32 times, 40 times, but for 111 times, I don't know what her anger was, but she stabbed this lady for that amount of time. Then when she was sure that this lady has been unalived, she left the house and walked down as if if you see her on the CCTV camera, you wouldn't believe that this particular person had just murdered someone. She was just walking like a normal person. She wasn't running. She was even skipping. She went back to her apartment and brought back a suitcase. Then she left the lady's house again. Then went to a convenience store to buy trash bags, bleach, and other things that she would need and hand gloves to use to clean the crime scene. So when she came back, she mutilated this lady's body. She chopped it into pieces and then put the plate in the trash bags and proceeded to put it inside the briefcase that she had just brought from her apartment. So after doing that, she cleaned the crime scene and she removed her clothes, the middle school clothes that she was wearing, uniform that she was wearing. She removed it and wore the lady's jacket. She wore the lady's jacket, put on the lady's clothes. The psychologist that later reviewed the case said that she was trying to embody the lady's personality and everything that had to do with the lady. So she wore the lady's clothes and then pulled the suitcase. CCTV, you would see her almost keeping like a child as she was going, and then as she was going to dispose of that suitcase. So then she called a taxi. Then she called a taxi, and the taxi took her and told the taxi that she's going to Nakdong River in Yangsang. So she was going to that place. With that very large suitcase. The taxi driver was like, "This is weird. for a child, because the child taxi, that the way she dressed and everything, she could still pass for that middle schooler. So the transit driver was shocked at a middle schooler hailing him for a ride, pulling a suitcase that looks that heavy. Then she's not going to the airport, she was not going to the train station or the bus station. She was not going anywhere that had to do with pulling a suitcase. She was just going to Nadong River, a wooded area in Yangsang. So the taxi driver felt okay. She entered, and the taxi driver, she placed the suitcase by herself into the trunk of the car, and then the driver drove her to that Nadong River side, and when she came down, she pulled her suitcase by herself and left, entered that wooded area. So the taxi driver was shocked, was like, what was happening? Not that there is any house around here, not that she's going to any place. All these places, they are wooded areas, sort of bushes and everything. What is she doing there around 3 a.m. in the morning? What is a child doing there around 3 a.m. in the morning? So he watched her drag that large suitcase inside into that wooded place. Then he was like, I'll watch this to the end. He stayed there and waited. Then later later Jung came out. Jung came out from that place. The suitcase looked relatively lighter. That was the first red flag. Then she entered I don't think that Jung noticed that it was still the same taxi. So she entered the taxi and asked the taxi to take her back to her own apartment. So the taxi driver took her back to her apartment, and when immediately he dropped her off, he felt that this thing that happened in this night was really weird. He would need to call the police. He felt some type of way, and this made him to call the police. Because imagine what a taxi driver that runs that area in the night would have seen to make him feel that he needs to call the police for seeing a middle schooler do something like that. That means there was some type of energy that Jung was giving off. So he called the police and told the police, this is where I dropped him, this is where I dropped her, and this is what she was carrying, and I later dropped her off in this particular place. And that was it. The police went and investigated and found the body there. Then almost immediately Jung was arrested, and when they arrested her, she was saying that before she would talk, she would need her lawyer. She was, at first when they asked her what happened, why did you do this, why was this, he said no, that it was her, that she delivered her baby, and it was her baby that she just went to dispose. That was not that she didn't kill anyone, that she just delivered her baby and found out that the baby was dead. So she went and threw the baby away and disposed the baby, because she didn't want people to know that she just gave birth. And this was easily proven to be false, because they took her to and the hospital, the doctors were able to confirm that she had never given birth, and that was not a baby. As they checked the contents of the body there, they knew that this was not a baby. This is not a baby. So that was her first lie. Then she came up with this lie that someone murdered this person, and then she was asked to dispose of the body, that she was told to dispose of the body and that they would pay her. And that was a lie too. It was easily proven that nobody asked her to do something like that. So who murdered this person? She was lying and lying and lying until her grandfather came. When her grandfather came to the station, he talked with her and told her that she should just she should just work with the police, that she should tell the truth instead of trying to prolong the whole thing. And she agreed, and she told the police that she was the one that did that. And then when they asked her of her motive for committing such a crime, he said that it's because she wanted to know how it feels to murder someone, that she had been reading about it, she had been watching it, and then she wants to practice what she had learned from watching all of those videos. So that was why she committed such a crime. And the police were really surprised. They were surprised, and everyone that heard about it were shocked, because this particular girl was an introvert that doesn't communicate with anyone. She stays indoors. She just stays indoors and doesn't communicate with people. That so what would make her do something like this? What's the motive? What would make her do something like? Why would she target tutors, and then this particular lady that answered her? Why would she do something like that? Why would she do something like this, like that, to this lady? So psychologists, university professors, we are trying to analyze why she would do something like that. So they said that it's probably because she wanted to be that particular lady, because when they told her about that golf caddy job, that they didn't take her because she was not proficient in English. She started hating English teachers and and people and other people that can understand and speak English very well. So now that was one of the motives, and that was one of the motives why she committed this crime. And also that that probably she wanted to like get this lady's identity and become her, because this particular lady is almost the same age with Jung, and she has achieved a lot of things. She is staying alone. She was staying alone. She had a job. She had this side hustle. She was in school. She was like almost everything that Jung wanted for her life, but she couldn't do. So that was what she wanted to embody, this particular lady, and that was why she wore her clothes and all of that. So they were trying to analyze, and then Jung was given a psychopathy test. The psychopathy test, they usually give it in South Korea. They even give it in other countries too. So they wanted a Canadian doctor in the 70s, like, was one that was the one that created that test to test the level of psychopathy. Like someone, Ted Bundy scored 39 points out of 40 in that test. A normal thinking person will score between 5 to 6 or 4 points. Then John Wayne Gacy scored 27 points out of 40. So, but this Jung scored 28. It was even a point higher than John Wayne Gacy. The professors believed that if Jung was not caught at this first time that she committed this crime, that she would have gone ahead to commit more crimes. She would have turned into a serial killer, because from where to where, you have no criminal records, you have no anything, you have never committed a crime, and the first crime she committed, she moved from 0 to 1 million. She was able to murder someone in cold blood. She was able to dismember. Do you know the level of heart? Do you know the high level of psychopathy? Do you know, oh God, the high level of, oh God, I don't know the word to describe it, that will make someone mutilate, cut somebody into pieces, and then put the pieces into a trash bag, and then without any feeling, almost skipping to wherever she wants to dispose the body. Then the way she was acting, that was otherworldly. No normal human being behaves that way. So for her to do all of that, she would have turned into a renowned serial killer if she was not caught. And for her to do all of that in South Korea, that is the home of CCTV cameras, even in their their cars, they are mandated to have CCTV cameras on all their cars. Even if the car is 100 years old, you must get a CCTV camera and it must be working there. So like the countries like China, Japan, South Korea, you will definitely be caught. Why, what made her think that she will never be caught? CCTV is everywhere in that country. There is nothing that will go unnoticed. Everywhere. In fact, as they were releasing the CCTV was following her from one point to the other. As she went to the store to buy the things, CCTV in the store captured her buying the trash bags, the hand gloves and bleach. CCTV on the CCTV on the streets captured her as she went back to her apartment and pulled and brought back the suitcase. CCTV got everything was caught on CCTV. Why would she think that she would commit such a crime and go scot-free without being caught? She that psychopath, that's a narcissist that felt okay that she's too good in this particular thing to be caught. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know what made her think she could pull this off. But she was caught, and thank God for that. And after those analyses by those professors, I believe them 100%. She would have gone on to commit more dangerous crimes. So, and then the case was tried, and during the trial, the prosecutors were really pushing for the death penalty, because this is a very horrible crime for someone that didn't do anything to you. Why would you do something like? Prosecutors were pushing for a death penalty, but the judge was saying that no, that because since 1997 nobody has been executed in that country till now. So they said no, that she shouldn't get a death penalty. She was sentenced to life imprisonment, and that was it. So she will have to spend the rest of her life in prison. And according to reports recently, they said she's really living well in the prison, because remember, she had always been inside her house, inside her bedroom. So prison is almost like the same thing. She was living her best life in prison. They give them good food. She eats very well. They say she eats very well in prison, and this thing really got the Korean netizens pissed, because why will taxpayers be paying money for you to be enjoying? It was even said that in the Busan detection center where she is, that they feed them better than they feed people in the military, people that had to like go for 2 years 2 years mandatory service. They don't even feed them as much as they feed those prisoners in Busan detention center. So Yoo Jung is having the best time of her life. She's living the normal life because she doesn't even relate to people. She doesn't go out that much. So why would she be so much bothered? She was already living a prison lifestyle, so she continued living her life in prison. They say she is having the best time of her life in prison. So that is the story of Jungyoojung. That's the story of Jungyoojung. So the school uniform that she used, she got it online from a thrift store. In fact, she prepared everything step by step of this crime that she committed. She prepared it fully. She went all out that this is what she was going to do, and she did it. That's very heartbreaking, because that means someone can be in their house and can easily get murdered for nothing. She went into a tutor app, downloaded a tutor app, and from there did all of this. They said that particular tutor app, a lot of people just deleted it. They just pulled out. Stop using tutor apps that much, because it was so easy for Yoo Jung to be able to find this lady, to get her address, to commit this crime. It was so easy. And a lot of other small crimes that have been happening that had to do with essays through that tutoring app. A lot of people will pose as different people to be able to lure people to their houses, or even go to their houses to commit different crimes. But this Yu Jung's own was the first murder that happened through tutor app there, and it made a lot of people very fearful of that kind of thing. And that was, so that's the story. And the lady that was murdered in this case, was her name was not released to the media, because that is South Korea. Their law there, that if something like that happen, they have to protect the victim's family. They have to protect unless the victim's family to tell them to release the name, of the victim. They don't release the name of the victim. So, and that is okay for them, and that is it. And if you like hearing this type of stories about true crime that happen all over the world, please endeavor to click on that subscribe button, and you'll be able to comment on the comment section. Give me case suggestion on cases that you'd want to hear, you want me to cover, and you'll be able to keep our channel going. Thank you very much for watching, and with that being said, please stay safe, stay curious, and have a wonderful day. Bye.